Moving on. The second match, was that interesting to you? Miro and Andrade with his manager, CJ Miro?
It was certainly interesting to me because I had heard that Andrade was finishing up, knowing that Miro has not exactly been a happy camper. The weird booking where Miro and his wife are always doing some kind of angle where she leaves him or he's in love with God. I don't know what the is happening, but it's clearly from their own minds. I didn't know what. It's a weird match. It's like in a vacuum. Here's a guy that Tony can't book with anyone because he only wants to do his shit, versus a guy that has been desperate to leave this company to the point where he's punching people in the face and he's about to leave the company. So yeah, I was interested in this. You weren't?
No, that's what I'm saying. I was being sly. Were you interested in this? Because there were so many ways it could go wrong. But no, and by the way, did you see the statistic? Miro for the year 2023 in AEW was 6-0. He worked 6 times.
I did not see that.
He worked 6 times and did no jobs. How do you get this job? I'll show up when you do something with me and my wife. Nobody will understand what it is or even whether we like each other or not. And it'll be confusing. It'll be rare when it happens.
WCW was never this lenient.
I don't even know if he's being lenient. I don't know whose idea is this. I mean,
if the rumors are true that for like a year and a half or 2 years or however long it was, Tony was like, hey, Miro, I got this really great thing. I'm going to book you to lose to, let's just say, Hangman Page. And Miro was like, no, I won't do it. All right, stay home. And then this continued. And now he's doing what he was doing in WWE, an angle with his wife that made no sense on the face of it, was ridiculous. She looks good, I got to say. She
came back body. from her hospitalization. You saw that, and she had she had apparently a life-threatening infection from getting a splinter in her finger and was hospitalized and given Lord knows how many antibiotics and probiotics and all those biotics that the medical science people have these days, and had her finger there in the stylish black cast. So amazingly, she's come back from a near-death experience.
These tables are going to kill somebody.
I'm telling you. But the deal is that she has been trying to manage people, and everybody that she's tried to manage, or that wanted her to manage them, conveniently, who were all job guys, Miro would beat the fuck out of them. You'd never see him again. And then finally, old Andrade, who's smarter than your average bear and a little tougher than the rest of them, he has stepped up here. And so she's managing him against Miro because we don't know what the fucking deal is with him. She's like, I want to do my own thing.
And the other thing is everyone knows who his wife is. So everyone knows like they're not romantic together. So like she's not with her husband, but she's also managing this other guy who there's nothing with.
Wait a minute, I thought that was his wife.
Andrade's married to Charlotte, isn't he?
No. I mean, CJ Miro is Miro's wife.
I'm saying the other way. She came to the ring with Andrade against Miro.
Well, yeah, but it's purely business.
But the whole thing she's teasing with all these guys is I'm hot and flexible. What do you think that's supposed to fucking mean? Not I'm good with money.
Well, it's just a negotiating tactic. And we haven't heard that she has to follow through with it.
It's just a tagline.
Maybe it's, who was it Tim Ross said in 4 Rooms? Maybe it's some kind of weird psychosexual game you two are playing. But...
Wow, a 4 Rooms reference. Very good.
Well,
you are an impressive man, I have to say.
Fucking movie. But nevertheless, so the finish was not a mystery because it leaked that Andrade was leaving effective pretty much immediately and is going to be a free agent. But Miro jump-started it and kicked the shit out of him, and then Andrade made a half-hearted comeback. And then I started zoning out because it went way too long for these guys, whether they were trying or not. But finally, Andrade got the figure 8 a la Charlotte, and old CJ leaned underneath the ropes and jerked her own man, Andrade's arms out from under him, and it flattened him out, so he immediately lets go of the hold of this big Bulgarian beast that he's got and stands up and looks at her with a shock like, how could you do this to me and help your husband? and then he turned right around and with, completely open and blind and fucking turned right into the big old kick. Boom! And got a 2 count. It was a 2. They can't even do a fuck finish, or they fuck up fuck finishes.
Right, I thought that was going to be the finish.
Well, it should have been. Because he gets a 2 count, and then Miro gets the fucking camel clutch, and old Andrade taps out. And I guarantee you, Miro ain't... He can't be in any way smart to the wrestling business, even after the background that he has with the big company, etc. Because I guarantee you that he insisted, no, I thought he's leaving. He must tap out to... I sound like Sheik now more than Miro.
But it didn't sound anything like Miro. It didn't even sound like The Rock doing the Sheik.
Well, how about Sheik doing The Rock? How would you like to hear that?
Humbling him.
Well, you want to hear the Sheik doing The Rock?
No.
Yeah. Anyway, so what would have helped this thing, and whatever the fuck it is if CJ had actually led to the downfall of Andrade. But instead, she just got a false finish, and then Miro just turned him over and got him to tap out with the camel clutch, like every other fucking jabroni. So, like I said, they fuck up fuck finishes where people leave with a completely different, they know he won, but it's completely different fucking, what's the word I'm searching for? Sense of feeling of how it happened that leads you to manipulate your emotions in a certain way. What the fuck is that bitch? Whatever the fuck. And then instead of... Normally, you would see CJ would come in and hug him or raise his hand or cup his balls and check his fucking oil. I don't know. But instead, she never got in the ring. And they never spoke to each other. They looked at each other, and she just wandered around the outside of the ring. And
well, that settles that.
She kind of gestured like Vanna White to the people at ringside, or, I don't know what that was.
That is what she did.
And Miro just stood there and huffing and a puffing. And so, thank you for coming, Andrade. You're about to be significantly upgraded, I would imagine.
I had heard, and I guess other people had heard that Andrade El Idolo was leaving before the match, before the pay-per-view. If you remember WrestleMania, 20 at Madison Square Garden, they booed Brock Lesnar and Goldberg the fuck out of the building because they found out they were both leaving. It was like, boo, you don't want to be here, fuck you!
Yeah.
No one gave a shit here in this building. They just watched it like a match, not like, oh, this is the last we're going to see Andrade here. No, they just had no reaction to any of that news. Whatever that means.
And to be fair, the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, that's where they were, correct?
That is correct. My old hometown arena.
But that is a notoriously hard building. I've talked about it. I talked about it when we were there for Crockett, when I worked there for the WWF, when you would have thought that, they're not as expressive there as most places. But in some cases, they had no fucking reason to be here. Anyway, should we go on now to the next contest, Brian?
Well, that's 2 matches. So far, people at home who are hardcore AEW fans, from what I saw online, are like, when's this show going to pick up?